So they are basically saying 95% of Nigerians should be financially included.
So like once you have like 25 million either coming or leaving in a month, if it's up to that amount, so you'll be taxed. So do you think that is something that we should have on our minds?
If they are paying less, more people are paying.
A lot of Nigerians do not store their wealth. A lot of Nigerians are not financially stable.
In Nigeria's industrial landscape, few stories capture the delicate balance between private power and labor solidarity as vividly as the recent dispute between the Dangote Refinery and the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASSAN. In late September 2025, reports emerged that the refinery dismissed or redeployed hundreds of unionized workers. Within days, PENGASSAN responded with a nationwide directive halting crude and gas supplies, disrupting production, and prompting federal government intervention. For today's episode, I'm your host, Anthonia Origho, and with me are my lovely guests, Faiza Sanni, the chief editor of the NESA editorial team.
Everybody.
And also our former host of Economically Speaking from last season. And my second guest is Zarah Osaretin, the Vice President Academics of NESA. Okay, guys. How are you guys doing?
Doing fine. Doing okay.
Okay, so before we actually begin on our topic, I would just like to have a little, icebreaker session with you guys. So, first question is, if you could have dinner with any economist, dead or alive, who would that be and why?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I would choose Adam Smith.
Wow. Okay, wow.
Because, he was a thinker, a philosopher, father of economics.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good. Okay, so next question is how are you guys dealing with being in NESA? Like, you're the chief editor of NESA, vice president of NESA. Like, this semester that we have started, how are you guys like juggling academics and also like your leadership roles in NESA? Can you talk to me about that?
I think being able to juggle school and NESA, the key tip for me is being able to share responsibilities among my team members. Like, I don't do everything myself. I have a team for a reason. So I do a lot of dedicating and whatnot, and I believe in the strength of my team members. So that's how I managed to reduce the burden of being in NESA Exco while being in school as well.
Thank you for that, Faiza. So Zarah, what would you like to share?
I find that it's best to just do things one at a time. And I'm also going to support what Faiza said. We have a team for a reason. So you delegate tasks. I have a subordinate, I have subordinates. You handle this, you handle this, you handle that. And at the end of the day, when you are like, okay, I have a to-do list, honestly helps. Because by the time you start ranking everything, like, okay, I have this, and this, and okay, I've done this. It helps your brain.
Yeah, exactly.
It helps your brain.
Okay, so two final questions.
Okay.
How has final year been so far? Like, academics, like, do you feel like this is year 3 all over again, or do you think that this is easy? What do you guys think about it?
I don't think this is year 3 all over again, and the reason why I say that is because I'm a different person from who I was when year 3 started. I've amassed a lot more knowledge, a lot more experience. I don't think it's the way year 3 was. However, I also don't think that year 4 is easy peasy lemon squeeze. There are also some challenges like figuring out different assignments, works, and stuff like that. So I think I feel like every year comes with its own challenges and its own pluses. thought I feel about this year.
Thank you for that.
I personally feel okay. Well, I've not really gone that far into the semester, but so far, I believe that year 3 was harder than
For sure.
this year 4. Because this year 4, I only have classes 3 days out of the week,
Yeah, same.
and it's only my project that's on.
Okay, yeah.
It's only my project that's on my mind. So by the time I finish my project, I know what I'm doing chapter 1 to 3.
Yeah.
By the time I'm done with that,
Mm-hmm.
it's smooth sailing from there. Should God really?
Amen.
Okay, guys. Okay, so final question, right? What subject made you cry? Like that subject took everything from you. Then tell us the subject that was like, yeah, it was so easy. Let's start with Zarah.
The subject that made me cry, that was mathematics. Year 2, second semester. I've never been one to like enter an exam hall and like I don't know anything. You know how people are like, oh, I entered there and my brain went blank. My brain went blank. Because it was only 2 hours.
Yeah.
I looked at the question 1. I said, don't panic. I went to Matrix. By the time I was done with Matrix, I had only like 30 minutes remaining. And I still had 2 questions to answer. I started looking. I said, God, let me try answering the second question. I had like only 10 minutes to answer question 1.
Yeah.
Question 1, I started writing. I hooked on the first line. And I just knew. And I just knew that at the end of the day, like I was going to get a score that didn't sit well with me. So by the time I just came out of the exam hall, I just burst into tears. I just burst into tears. I was crying. Anyways, that was that. I forgive the lecturer. and the subject, the course that made me smile. Let me think. Maybe logic. Logic year 1.
Okay.
I love that course. I don't know. I just loved it.
Okay. For me, to be honest, not to, but I have never cried for a course, but I have been close to tears. Echo 311, microeconomics, held me by my held me by my neck. It was not easy at all. I was finding that course hard, the tests and everything. During exam, I was like, this is not happening. I am not about to carry over any course. I told my roommates, like, I remember the morning of the exam, they were asking me, oh, Faiza, can I say please, just wait. Like, let me just come out of the exam hall, please. Just don't talk to me. I was focused on the exam and everything. And thank God, I did okay in the exam. The one that I really enjoyed, I enjoyed mathematical economics in the 3 first semester. That was a really fun course.
Okay, that was an elective.
Yeah, that was an elective. Yeah, that was a really fun course, and accounting year 2. That was fun also.
Upside down, yeah, judging you. But anyway, thank you guys so much. Okay, so let's begin. So you know that this Dangote PENGASSAN standoff has caused like short-term declines in like oil output and power generation. So do you think like this, like from a macroeconomic standpoint, how should we as economists interpret this? Like, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Faiza, tell me what you think about this.
I don't think that strikes have ever been a good thing, to be honest. Because they end up halting production, economic activity, and the ripple effects are just all over the place and everything. However, I don't think that there's like a long-term effect on this particular strike because it lasted for only like 2 days. I don't think it's going to affect the GDP or inflation or whatever, because said macro, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to affect those macro indicators very much because after the strike, fuel price was still the same. Though now fuel price is around over 900. I don't think it was attributed to the strike
itself.
Exactly. And even gas, I know that there was like a shortage of gas for a while and gas rose and everything, but now I think it's relatively stable now. So I think it was just like a little, before things could escalate, it had already ended. So That's what I think about it.
So you're trying to say that in the long run, everything balances out, right?
Yes.
Okay, but Kings will argue that in the long run, all of
Wow,
us are
yes.
dead. Okay, so Zarah,
Yeah,
you can
okay,
come in.
so-
Thank you.
I actually have, let's say, another.
Contrary opinion,
Yes.
okay.
But what if the strike went on for longer?
Mhm.
What if in another week, in
Mhm.
another 1 month,
Mhm.
they say, "Oh, we're doing
Another
another strike"?
Okay.
Everything is going to add up at a point.
Mhm.
Do you understand? It's going to add up. Like, obviously, this one was just how many days? Like
Mhm.
3 days or so,
Mhm.
and we lost about almost 200 barrels a day.
Mhm.
So that was like 600 and something in total.
Yeah.
If it went on for a whole week,
Mhm.
what would have happened? If it went on, if they eventually called up the strike after maybe a week, and then 2 months later, Dangote did something that they don't like again, and they're saying, "Oh, nobody should give crude oil to him," and that one goes on for much longer. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That like the fact that in this case the strike was for only 2 days, so nothing happened. Assuming you know how let's say Asuna that they used to go on strike for like years after that. That one had a macro effect on people were not able to graduate early.
Yeah.
Classes that were supposed to have graduated were meeting other classes. Like it was just a mess. I think okay, that one has a larger effect. However, for this particular case, it was only 2 days. Do you get? If it was like a week, I'd have thought, okay, yeah, things are going to definitely add up. Because between those, I think 2 or 3 days, you said 200,000 barrels had lost, but then we'll be able to recover from that. So I do think that strikes have longer term effects. But in this case, I don't think it was because it was only for 2-3 days.
So I really like that my guests are on opposite sides. So with that, I'm coming.
Mhm.
Just hold on to your point,
Mhm.
right? You know that in classical labor economics, to describe the interaction between employers and unions is often described as the Nash bargaining model, where each side has a threat point. Dangote's threat point was legal injunctions and replacement hiring, right?
Yeah.
While PENGASSAN's threat point was the capacity to shut down national oil flow. So, in your view as an economist, this relative bargaining power, what exactly does it reveal regarding the relationship between labor unions and private capital in Nigeria? Do you think that the union's ability to like mobilize workers like on a large scale to disrupt like company productions even when it's private, do you think it affects democracy at the workplace? Or do you think that this just reveals that the government should be more interested and should act like as a regulator when it concerns like laborers and private power? What do you think about that?
I think that governments, in this case, it was between PENGASSAN and Dangote Refinery. The government wasn't the cause of anything or like other cases of strike. So in this case, the government is like a third party, but the government still has a role to play in this case as a mediator. If this strike happened for a longer time, we would have seen that oil production would be low, and currently the oil price actually is lower than estimated in our budget.
Wow.
So exactly. So we can see that it would have just been catastrophic. So the government is supposed to come in and okay, so PENGASSAN, what do you want? Oh, Dangote, what do you want? And find a middle ground in whatever it is in between them and satisfy everybody, and we go on our way. So I think that's what the government succeeded in doing, because the strike ended in 2 days.
Yeah.
So it was a quick oh, what do you want? Just settle. What do you want? Settle. Also, I think it's important to note that in Nigerian labor laws that no employer is it's not legal for any employer to force their workers to join a union or to not join a union, right? So Dangote's argument was that the reason why the 800 workers were dismissed was because they needed to be redeployed or something.
Yeah.
But then that happened days prior to the workers joining the PENGASSAN. So it was kind of weird, will I say? But I think like the tension has been, everything is fine, everybody's okay. The 800 workers have been rehired and they've been redeployed, and Dangote has hired more workers to fill in their spots for the Dangote Refinery.
Yeah. Zarah, do you have anything to add?
I actually do. So, but is it in every situation that the government has stepped in? Because as you said before, this was between PENGASSAN
Dangote.
and Dangote, and I understand that oil is a core resource in Nigeria. It's a very core resource. Shouldn't there? I feel personally, I believe that there should be other bodies separate from the government itself. Obviously, like government bodies in a way, but not the government itself. As you know, the way we have courts and yes, exactly. So I feel that there should be courts or settlement courts, arbitrary courts that should be able to have the power to act as a mediator in this sort of situation, rather than calling on the big government to have to step into this situation. Because if they have another problem again, are we saying that government is going to step in? So for every problem that what Dangote and PENGASSAN may have in the future, will government now step in? There should be some other body that should be able to handle this level of disagreement.
I just want to say that I think government has to step in, because look at how large PENGASSAN is and look at how large Dangote Refinery is. Like, this is not a state's property or something. Like, this is Dangote, the largest refinery.
It depends, but like, if the first course of action is for government to step in, it should, I feel it should be the last course of action. If after we have gone to this and we still haven't been able to reach a settlement, then government can step in. It shouldn't be we're having a disagreement. Yes, we're two big powerful bodies, yes, able to shake the macroeconomic vision of the country. It should be the last step. I feel there should be
like
structure, exactly.
So you know, this Dangote PENGASSAN dispute was very brief, but I think it's very educative in the sense that the lessons that we can get from that dispute can actually teach us as economists and even as workers in other sectors of the economy to, like, you know, prevent and plan forward and not just wait until something happens. You understand? Do you have any closing thoughts, Zarah, on this topic?
Okay, so I believe that while the whole PENGASSAN is it obviously brought up a lot of questions, but at the end of the day, I still believe that labor unions are very essential to the country, to the economy. They're very essential because, you know, a lot of times is the voice of one might not make that much effect, but if people are coming together to achieve a common goal, I think it's very commendable. And as Anthonia said, but they do need to learn to be proactive rather than reactive. And also they should also learn to know the appropriate channels to take, in the sense that it's not every time that you're going to do a strike.
Exactly.
There has to be reforms following it. If you do a strike today and nothing happened at the end of the day, you didn't achieve your goal, your next solution shouldn't be a strike again. Because at the end of the day, you're damaging the very people that you want to protect. Do you understand? So at the end of the day, they should be results based rather than just the action to get there, but they should be results oriented.
So I also think that like labor unions now, like strikes are not the only ways to negotiate. There are other forms of labor union negotiating methods that, you know, they can implement. It's not all the time strikes also, and also having strikes all the time, you stand to lose public sentiment. Because for something like PENGASSAN now, people are like, the masses are on PENGASSAN's can be on PENGASSAN's side, but for other labor unions that are going on strike every quarter, like you end up losing public sentiments, even though you know your plights might be valid.
Exactly.
And then also
All right, okay, so basically from this episode we have established that power without structure breeds inefficiency, and that for Nigeria to achieve sustainable industrial growth, it must institutionalize dialogue, as both Zarah and Faiza have put it. You understand? Not just between employers, but also all economic agents, that's labor, capital, the state. We have to create systems and structures, create institutions that actually do the work and prevent, you know, macroeconomic collapse. You understand? Okay, thank you everyone. This has been Economically Speaking, exploring the power of labor unions, a case study of the Dangote PENGASSAN dispute. Thank you so much for watching this episode. We really hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, please share this video to all your friends, your lecturers, your parents, families, everyone, because everything happening in the economy affects each of us. So we should be able to learn and get insights from the economists of tomorrow today. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.